Hello, everyone. Afternoon version of Softball Grandpa. February 10th, still the day after the Sylmar earthquake, 1971, 45 years later. Let's talk about a couple of things. Um, let's talk about patience, modern technology, and Pokemon. You know, um, God bless my future son-in-law. He has a lot of patience. He waited 4 hours in line at Sam's Club this morning to buy 2 packs of Pokemon cards for my granddaughter, and she loves Pokemon, and evidently it's refurbished. But I went online and I bought some online and found out that I overpaid for them. And I didn't buy them from Walmart. But that being said, he has more patience than I would. But I mean, he got there at 6:30. They opened at 8. Then he calls me at 10. Because I thought, well, I'll go there and get quarter to 8. I pull in the parking lot. There's a line going from the front door all the way around the side, across the loading dock to the gas station. And he had number 260 in line. And wow, so. But that and modern technology. I got a call from a distant third cousin or something. She's putting the genealogy together for the John Wick family in Texas, and she wanted my updates, for the kids and grandkids and stuff, So she sent me a Word document, and so I filled it all out. Then try to save a file, and I'm using Yahoo Mail. Oh man, it was such a pain. Finally, I saved it in a PDF, and I was able to send it. But talk about frustrating. I'm mother frickering myself, and cussing at myself, But what's the point? Got to stop myself, or hit myself with a hammer. Oh, here you go. Go Giants! Go Giants! I do that for my brother Dave. I was talking to him today too, he enjoyed the halftime show. I asked him, "Do you understand it?" No. And I said, "Wow." I said, "I watched the Puppy Bowl." I didn't want to get into politics. Him and I are on the opposite sides, of the aisle, and I think I'm on the good side. I'm not going to say whatever side he's on, but guys might be able to figure that out. But, we shouldn't talk about, there's just too much hate in the world. That's how I feel. Sorry. There you go, Sam, say sorry again, Maybe I startled somebody, And if I did startle somebody, I apologize, if I shook somebody up, but, we just need to pray for more people. Prayer is the answer, I think, My brother told me that the administration's going to change all the EPA stuff and roll back all the regulations and stuff, and I don't think it was that big of a deal, but I don't know. I don't like I said, I think if everybody does the right thing, they know when they're doing the right thing when they have that feeling in their gut. If they have a bad feeling in their gut, then they're not doing the right thing. I remember when I got pulled over once. I was driving back to Moreno Valley, and I was working up in Arcadia, and me and John worked all day long doing brickwork. I was helping him doing some brickwork for a client, and I was doing cocaine at the time, and drinking and drugging, and I smoked cigarettes, and I had all the Marlboro empty packs on the bottom on the floorboard, typical drunk, and alcoholic, maybe addict, whatever, But I had all these cigarettes packs on the bottom of the floor. And the cops pulled me over because I didn't have registration because, there's more important things to do rather than pay your registration. You know, you had to get the 12 pack and get the, the 8 ball or whatever. So I had to, and I was a workaholic because I worked, a lot of overtime to pay for my addiction, and pay the bills. So going down Santa Anita, get pulled over by Arcadia cops, and they say, "You've been drinking?" I said, "Yeah, I had a couple." And so they said, "Go sit on the curb." They searched my car, and I'm sitting on the curb trying to remember the Serenity Prayer. Because I originally got sober in 87 when I was in rehab, but it was between 87 and 91. So because I knew I was going to jail. I was trying to remember the Serenity Prayer because, to accept the things I cannot change because I know I'm going to jail. And my wife told me that if I ever got busted for coke, don't call her. And they didn't find the coke. And they had all these beer cans on there. And I was honest with the cops, and they said, "Get the hell out of here." So I got down into El Monte and drank stopped, bought 2 beers and snorted the rest of the cocaine and went home and called AA. That was one of the times I got clean and sober. So that was a God shot, God shots, but for the grace of God, there go I, and, I think I have a guardian angel that has looked out over me, and I'm going to sneeze again, and I apologize. I'm blowing my nose all day long, and, Gesundheit, that's German for God bless you. You know why? You know what orphanage is in German is called it's like the baby death house. And there was an orphanage in Germany that they didn't understand why all the babies were dying in these orphanages except for one orphanage. So they went and they were talking to the people that run the orphanage, and the cleaning lady, when she would go in there and clean the room, she would hold the baby, pick up the babies, and rock them. And those babies lived because they had love. They were feeling love. If you're not feeling love, you kind of die, and that's what happened. That's why they call them death houses. But if you hold a baby, that's really important to hold the baby, and look at it and talk to it. Don't talk to Goo Gaga. Say, "Hey, here's the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and move up above, and a thing called love." Hey, that's Sonny and Cher, I think. But anyway, so if I squint my eyes, and I look and I say, "This is a good way to see." Maybe I'll go back to this is where I had the skin cancer. No, wait, this is where I had the skin cancer. But they did radiation. No, they didn't do. Yeah, they did radiation. They were going to do chemo on me, and I said, "No way, that's poison. What else is going to kill you?" They put IV infusion, and I said, "Give me the radiation anytime." Maybe that's why I lost some hair. But, it is what it is. God bless everybody. It's Tuesday, February 10th. Like I said before, do something for somebody else for fun or for free because you want to with no expectation in return. And sometimes that's really hard to do. But, when you do it, you'll feel better. So God bless. Talk to you soon.